Well, a very good evening and welcome to this edition of Breeding to Win. We've got a fantastic lineup for you, and as you can see, we're at the Vasco Taverna, and always a great opportunity to come see the guys here. You can hear a bit of noise in the background, and that's generally the plying trade for a lunchtime business like Vasco. Great to have their castle beer on tap as well. Always makes the show a little bit more interesting. We've also got Carabao here, and Fiona will be catching up with David a little bit later to tell you about this unique energy product as well. So lots in store for you, but primarily today is the first part of our trip of Racing in Paradise, a 4-part series we're going to be bringing you, and that's from racing in Mauritius. The Breeding to Win team took time to visit Mauritius. We spoke to a number of officials, to the jockeys, to the trainers, and we highlighted some of their major events too. So a fantastic lineup. We're also going to be chatting to John Freeman about one of his stallions and showing a bit of footage from a stallion that Freeman manages. We'll look at Coup de Gras as well, a Claverflay stallion who certainly looks to be making his mark. He's by one of the sire sensations in the UK called Tappet, and we also bring you a few more foals for our recent Foal of the Week competition. But right now, let's go straight into the show, and we'll catch up with our first part of Racing in Paradise, and that is certainly an interesting 4-part series that we'll be bringing to you in the next 4 weeks.
Mauritius has been one of my favourite countries to visit for many years, not only for its beautiful hotels, beaches, fine cuisine and friendly faces, but the Mauritians' enthusiasm for horse racing is second to none. Champ de Mars racecourse in Port Louis stretches back to 1812, inaugurated by the Mauritius Turf Club, making it the oldest racecourse in the Southern Hemisphere and the 3rd oldest in the world.
Khalid Ra'at is the Deputy General Manager here at Champ de Mars Racecourse, along with being Clerk of the course and Assistant Secretary. Khalid, it's lovely to be with you this morning and for you to be sharing the history of the Mauritian Turf Club with us.
It's a pleasure to have you here and your team. And the Mauritius Turf Club has a long history of racing. We were quite linked to the arrival of the British fleet in Mauritius here. 2 years after their arrival here in 1812. Things were not working too well between the French and the new English government, and the idea came up with Lady Farquhar, who was of French origin but married the British governor of the time, Sir Robert Farquhar. She came up with the idea of having a horse race here at the Champ de Mars, knowing that the horse is such a beautiful animal, an animal that can make you forget all your trouble, all your daily worries. And eventually they got together, organized a committee to draw up the rules for the first race meeting. That is to say that when they started racing here, they started it seriously. The new market rules were enforced here as from day one, and people had to nominate their horses, declare their colors a number of days before the race meeting. And that first race meeting was held on the 25th June 1812. Things worked so well that they decided to have 2 more race meetings during the year. Sir Robert Farquhar was interested in racing in England, but the main personality to bring the English rules here was Colonel Draper, who arrived here in 1815. But Colonel Draper had already racehorses in England. This is a thing that we've been able to trace back in the racing calendar of the Jockey Club. And between 1806 and 1811, he was very much involved in racing horses and selling his horses and making all kind of arrangements before he left for Mauritius through the Cape to Mauritius.
And we've seen some lovely photographs this morning. You've kept a beautiful book of history of the course. And back in the early days, there was no grandstand at all.
Yes, when we first started, we didn't have permanent stands. We had wooden boxes that were built on the race course, on the other side of the road. This is what I mean. But when we decided to have permanent boxes, the government of the time was not happy that we're going to build them on Crown land, as they used to be called. So we had to purchase the pre-properties that were behind the grandstand and build our first grandstand in 1909, and that lasted until 1939 when we built the present one.
The course is relatively small, 1,298 metres in circumference, but races are run successfully from 1,000 metres to 2,400 metres. The racing season runs from March until December, with features such as the Grade 2 Duchess of York run over 1,400 metres, the Grade 1 Barbie Cup run over 1,600 metres, the Grade 1 Duke of York Cup run over 1,600 metres, and of course the most popular feature race is the Grade 1 Maiden Cup run over 2,400 metres on September the 2nd. To Mauritians, this race is as popular as the Grand National in Britain. One of the highlights is the International Jockeys Weekend at the beginning of December, a spectacular event with the finest fashion and riders from all over the world.
Kamel Tapasia is the president here on the Mauritian racecourse, and I'm lucky enough to be in his suite this afternoon to chat to him. Kamel, it's been a fantastic week for us. We've done some great filming, and what a wonderful island you live on.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure for us to welcome you to the Chambas. As you know, it's the second oldest racetrack in the world. And you were lucky enough, I think, to see the main race last weekend, which was the maiden race. The one and only, won by the same horse 2 years in a row. So that's also a bit of history.
The racecourse certainly has a wonderful history behind it, and the people that come racing, the crowds, it's still quite phenomenal to see.
Yeah, it's different than other places. I mean, I've been to South Africa many times. Only on the big meets you have many people turn up. And then somebody's winning here. You can hear them shouting outside. That's a passion. It's a national sport, because football is neither here or there anymore. So I think the horse racing today is a national sport.
Yeah, everybody gets really
Betting's
excited.
on the rise. People are coming into the racetrack. What else can you ask?
Yeah, everybody really does get excited here, and it makes for a really good vibe.
Absolutely.
And you've got some wonderful old trainers that have been going here for many years, and superb jockeys passing through.
Yeah, we've had over the years, we have the great ones, Jeff Lloyd, we've had Glenn Hatt, people that you would recognize back home, because they all mainly come from South Africa, as do the horses. It's really fantastic to support, and today is a special day. I think it's being sponsorship today is Kumanela, South African Racing Association, and that's been going on for 15 years.
And you've been president now for how many years?
Well, the board is elected for 3 years, and this year I'm the president, and maybe next year I will be or not, we'll decide. But it's a lot of hard work, because it's benevolent work, but we do feel for our club, so we give it all we can.
You've been doing a magnificent job. What I love about it is most of these suites are so perfectly situated. You can see the race so closely, and you really get close to the action.
Yeah, it's right on the track. I would hate to leave this place one day, but it is what it is. I think it's slowly getting to its limit in terms of capacity, so we'll have to rethink about how to restructure it here or elsewhere.
It is the most wonderful sight to see the public pile up to watch morning gallops with so much enthusiasm, and again on Saturdays they flood to the course, so passionate for their racing, and such a sound of excitement fills the track. The stables are situated next to the course, and often owners will visit their stable on a Friday evening and again after racing on a Saturday. A great family affair amongst all the connections, and a celebratory dinner usually follows. That's certainly the way to do it. Opened in 2002, the Crown Lodge was formerly a racing steward's private box, but has now been transformed into a Swish visitors facility, allowing for a VIP racing experience. It's lovely to be in the Crown Suite on course, and I'm with Jacques Ritter, who is responsible for bringing all these wonderful tourists to the course. Jacques, you've been doing this for many years, bringing tourists to Mauritius.
Yes, we've been doing this since 18 years now, and believe me, it's a great fun to meet people from all over the world coming to see the races here in Mauritius.
Yes, it's fantastic. You've got people here today from many different countries.
Today, most of them are from England, most of them.
You call your organisation the Crown, and people can get involved in various different packages?
I am the only one to do it. I've got some partners who help me during the day at the races. Jonita, Tassima, they are here with me. But at home, we prepare all the food, and I've got a good team who works very hard from Thursday to Saturday morning, and the day when you will be able to taste the food in a few minutes.
Well, not only bringing all the wonderful tourists here, you love the racing as well.
I love races. I love horses. I've been myself riding for many years, and I used to be a gentleman rider. I used to race here and in Nigeria also, and it's a big fun.
Yes, I can see the vibe in here is great and everybody's mingling, and of course you've got a great spot on, you can see everything on course and get up close and personal.
Yeah, we've got a prime site here, just a few yards from the winning post, and this is where all the action is being in this straight line. Fantastic.
In all my visits to the track, I have been blown away by the hospitality from stewards, owners, trainers, jockeys and the racing public. A warm and friendly welcome not only on the course but during one stay on the island. The exquisite dress code is beautiful and the sport of kings has certainly remained the Mauritian racing. We see many of our horses in South Africa leave our shore for a career in Mauritian racing and greatly succeed. We often wonder what will happen to them in the future, and over the years it has been lovely to see the retired champions seeing great opportunities, either in other equine fields or simply hacking and enjoying life.
Benoit Alvex is the acting general manager here at Champtomar Racecourse, and it's lovely to be chatting to him in his very busy office this morning. Benoit, it's a very, very busy time of year for you. We're bang in the middle of your big season.
Yes, we were quite busy with the Maiden Cup last week with a big crowd turning up. But now that we are halfway through, it's less busy, of course, than at the start when we have to begin the season with after a break of 3.5 months. And today is Princess Margaret Cup, which is a classic of a sprint and 1400 meters. So there's many good horses running, and we expect a good meeting.
Yes, looking forward to a very exciting day. And what's interesting is it runs in your family. You're the fourth in line to be working in the Turf Club.
Yes, my grandfather was working as secretary, then my granduncle, then my father, and now me. And unfortunately, my kids are not interested at all. So I will be the last one in the family to occupy this position. Yeah.
And it's a small race course, but you actually do manage to run races up to 2,400 metres. Now, I hear there's a very, very interesting story behind the mile here at Champtomar.
Yes, the mile was first measured by Colonel Draper when horse racing started on the island, and it was discovered later that it was in fact shorter than the proper distance, and at least I think nearly 100 meters shorter. So we still have the 1500 meters now, which is called the Draper's Mile in his memory, and it's a very common distance now. Every Saturday we have a Draper's Mile mostly.
Many of our horses spend time in the quarantine station in Mauritius before heading off to the big cities. This facility is quite remarkable, and I'm sure the horses would prefer to stay on the island. A beautiful setting with a superb climate and run by a very good team. There is just so much to like about this beautiful country and its love of the thoroughbred.
Ici, la police qui va enlever l'arc de triomphe. 5e victoire dans la course pour Frankie Lettori.
Is storming home, one of the last possible gasps for the Challenger thriller.
What a finish to the Melbourne Cup. The Brave is under pressure when they turn in. It's been a relentless run, Cup. Who's going to be the last man standing?
Tackling on two, then Wings of Eagles, Clifford Moore, Wings of Eagles swooping though, and Wings of Eagles get back to win.
His 3,000th winner.
Vodacom Durban July.
Gauteng Sansui Summer Cup.
Once again, John Freeman submits a stallion, and his stallions are power-packed. They're full of energy, a little bit like Caribou. I'm going to take a sip of this, and we'll be hearing a little bit more later on from Fiona as well. But let's go straight into John Freeman's stallion.
I incidentally was walking in the paddock just the other day and saw a Futura run out in the paddock, and it just gave me goosebumps.
He's by far my best weanling on the farm.
All the breeders that I spoke to that had Futura foals claimed they had the best. I didn't have a bad report. They were all good-legged. Everybody was positive about them. I think that Futura's got what it takes to make a champion's eye.
Aventura's got two Futuras, a colt and a filly. The colt in particular is an outstanding individual. He's out of a mare by far, so it's speed on speed. We're assuming the horse will get the mile. Big, strong, upstanding, good bone. Filly's a little bit lighter in physique, but I think generally from a first crop or a first foal, very delighted.
Well, our new initiative is Foal of the Week. We've had fantastic entries from a couple of very unique stallions and first season size and just having their first progeny on the ground. Let's catch up with a few more foals that have been submitted to Fiona Ramsden. Right, last but not least on tonight's show, we'll be bringing you an update on stallion Coup de Gras. He's by legendary sire Tappet, who's breaking all the records in the United States. His foals on the ground are nothing short than extraordinary, and we've also had raving reviews from some of the leading judges on the CTS inspection panel. Let's catch up more with the update on Coup de Gras.
You know, when you add good looks to racing performance, and in the female line alone, there are 3 reins de course mares, which is massive. Then it is exciting. So I think we've got the whole package. We've got the stallion for sure with Tappet. We've got the mare who was talented, and she herself out of an extremely talented filly. She was champion 4-year-old filly in America. She won the Breeders' Cup. She won 4 Group 1s. She was placed in 6 other Group 1s. I mean, it's huge class, racing class there. And then the mare being by Stormcat. And as we've just spoken about, Stormcat really making his mark as a broodmare sire of size.
Once again, the team are having a fabulous time here filming at Vasco. Thank you very much to Bryn Russell for having us here today. And the first two people I bumped into were James Scott and David Sweet, who've brought this fabulous drink to Vasco. It's an energy drink, and David Sweet's going to tell me all about it. David, it looks very, very interesting. I love the way you've marketed it.
Sure, yes. I mean, we just landed in South Africa a few months ago. Some good feedback from the punters here at Vasco's. Goes well with a lot of mixers. And yeah, so we're excited about the future.
I see that. That's the most important thing at Vasco's, that it does go with all the mixers. But it's in beautiful, beautiful cans. It's very well marketed. It's a fantastic drink and very, very tasty.
Yeah, it has a good brand. It's associated with Chelsea Football Club. We're a title sponsor of the Carabao EFL Cup. And yeah, so it's a good tasting product.
And obviously you're supplying to Vasco's and you're new in South Africa and you're hoping to get around a little bit more.
Yeah, we should be national in sort of 3 to 4 months, just depending on the current retailers that we're speaking to. Yeah.
And this drink originates from Thailand, you were telling me.
It is, yeah. It actually was founded by the rock band lead singer of the Carabao rock band, and the one thing he wanted to do in the world was obviously reduce the amount of intake of sugar we do, so it's half the sugar of all the competitors in the world.
Well, Vasco's is certainly a great place to start because it's a wonderful sporting pub. We get lots of people here from watch any sports going all over the world.
Yes, including the racing, which is obviously the channel we're promoting today.
Well, I think we all in the racing need our energy drinks as well, but it really does taste good. And I'm mixing mine with the gin here, but it's very, very nice.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us today. I wish you all the luck with the Carabao drink. It looks fabulous.
Good stuff.
I'm a Carabao. That's a Carabao. And he's a Carabao too. Let me explain. Mr. Carabao is a rock star from Thailand who invented a great tasting energy drink. But Carabao is not for the Carabao. It's for her, and him, and her. Carabao, the bonkers drink for bonkers lives. Win a share of Carabao's £1 million giveaway with cash prizes every 60 seconds. Of course, I have no concept of time. I'm a Carabao.
That's a wrap for our show here at the Vasco's tonight. And interesting that we bumped into David. Obviously, we brought you the little interview that Fiona did with David. And well, some of the deals that you can get with the Carabao is the Carabomb. You've heard of the Jägerbomb. This is the Carabomb. And with the Jägermeister, I haven't tried that here, but no doubt I will be a little bit later on. But you've got the Carabao and double gin. You've got the Carabomb, which is obviously with the Jägermeister. Always come to lunch at the Vasco's. It's the place to be. And we'll be sounding out with one more of the original flavour. Cheers. We look forward to being with you again next Sunday.